In 1968 was another great success.
I felt if they're going to be women on motorcycles, let them be on motorcycles. So we sent out a wild casting call for the biggest, roughest, toughest people we could get. And the one qualification was that these women had to be able to ride these motorcycles.
This picture is not for children. This picture is not for the squeamish. This picture is not for those who think that all women sit by the fireplace knitting socks. The man-eaters, tougher than the men they hate, she-devils on the prowl. For the first time, see them as they are, wild, vicious, with motorcycles as their lovers. She-devils on wheels.
Unusually for a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie, in She-Devils on Wheels, the baddies don't actually get their comeuppance at the end. After having been thrown in jail for decapitating a rival gang leader, they're released due to lack of evidence. Did the man-eaters ever learn the error of their wicked ways? Why don't we ask them ourselves? Did you ever learn the error of your wicked ways?
We don't know nobody nothing, and we don't make no deals. We're swinging chicks on motors, and we're man-eaters on wheels.
And off they go. But Herschel hadn't deserted the Gore Hounds, and in 1969 he opened the Bloodshed Theater in Chicago, which specialized in live, on-stage Gore performances.
Well, the Bloodshed Theater was a small storefront theater that Herschel had opened on Chicago's Wells Street just about the time that I first came to work for him.
The Bloodshed Theater was an attempt to cash in on the publicity we were getting, to establish a good-natured, grand guignol kind of theater that hadn't been around for some time. We later called it Cinema Bizarre because some of the media would not take ads because of the name of the place.
We'd show Herschel's films and sometimes classics. We showed the original Frankenstein and original Dracula there. And also we would do live stage shows with Gore done live on stage.
An actor would walk out on the stage. Another actor or actress would join him. He would then slit that other actor's throat. The second actor would crumple to the floor. The audience would sit aghast, and the first actor would walk off the stage. The curtain would fall. And they would repeat this. That was the show.
And I can remember some nights, coming out at the climactic moment and saying, "Oh my God, what have you done? This isn't supposed to be real. You've killed him." Or "My God, what are you doing?" And they'd say, "We're killing him." And I'd say, "Let me help you." And so I managed to get a few licks in the acting department there on stage, to go home a couple of nights stained with stage blood.
The same production team that made the classic movie Blood Feast, and later a film called The Gruesome Twosome, which some regard as the wildest movie ever filmed, have a new movie geared to the 1970s. We're about to show you a few scenes of this movie, which is called The Wizard of Gore.
Let me move on to the Wizard of Gore, because in a way that seems to have grown out of the bloodshed. I can imagine that kind of scene taking place there.
It very well could have.
Where did you get the idea for that from?
The idea for the Wizard of Gore, the generation of that was a series of episodes where for once we were using props. We had not used props before. Here we had, this is before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we had a chainsaw effect in the Wizard of Gore where he slices a woman down the middle.
You were expecting a mere handsaw and a covered wooden casket? Oh no, that's the old-fashioned way of sawing people in half. Today, magicians are mechanized too, and nothing will be concealed from your view.
The actress who played that part actually ended up having to wear like a vest of raw meat under her costume, and again put together with condoms full of stage blood.
film that has such shoddy technical expertise. The blood is so obvious, and yet there's such a horrific quality to that movie. The movie is almost more chilling than some of the $20 million special effect gore movies I've seen.
He is a stage magician whose horrible tricks actually work later. If he disembowels somebody, the audience sees it as a stage trick, and then an hour later, as she is sitting in a restaurant, the trick comes true.
Herschel's films succeeded because they deliberately set out to break the taboos that mainstream cinema avoided. But the question I had to ask was, where would he draw the line?
I would shy away from what might be considered sadomasochism, in which people die very slowly. Our people die quickly. Not necessarily painlessly, but quickly. I would shy away from effects in which the audience is led to believe this really happened. I can't imagine anybody in the audience saying this really happened, our stuff. It's beyond my realm of comprehension.
But knowing that Herschel's scenes of gore weren't real is not enough to persuade many people that his films are acceptable as entertainment, and nor will I like to try. Today, Herschel is happy playing tennis and showing off his Jaguar and making more money than ever before in the cutthroat world of advertising, a job to which he seems particularly well suited.
I love this car. I have all the money I need. I couldn't lead a more magnificent life than I do.
You may like to know that Herschel has a book out, Everybody's Guide to Plate Collecting. However, whether you like or loathe him or his films, ultimately you can't deny his influence on modern horror movies like Friday the 13th or A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I have to say that he's the papa of this. It's your fault, Herschel. People realized that you could do a cheap, tacky, awful movie with your worst fantasies or your best fantasies, depending upon your point of view, and make money with it. And unfortunately, as limited as Herschel was in terms of his skill, everybody who's followed him is, for the most part, worse.
No one was as outrageous as we were. Even to this day, no one was as outrageous as we.
Explorations of the subconscious become trips into the unknown dimensions of altered states.
I think that true self, that original self, that first self is a real, mensurate, quantifiable thing, tangible and incarnate. And I'm going to find it.
Altered States, tonight, midnight 15 on Channel 4.
Are you okay? Beautiful, beautiful.